So inattentive ADHD. So many parents have said to me, but my child isn't hyperactive. How can they have ADHD? The truth is, not all kids with ADHD are physically hyperactive. Inattentive ADHD is often more active in the mind than in the body. So it's kind of like hyperactive in the mind. Their thoughts may jump from one thing to the next, making it harder for them to focus or stay on task. Because these behaviors are quieter and less disruptive, this type can be harder to spot and is often missed or misinterpreted, especially in the classrooms. Each symptom that I'm going to talk about here includes how it may present at home and at school to support clear observation and identification. So the first characteristic, fails to give close attention to details or makes careless mistakes. So at home, they may forget part of a chore, like cleaning the bathroom, but they skip the tub, or make repeated mistakes in homework. So you know that they know the math. They're continuing to make errors in it. At school, they know the correct process for something, such as math, but small errors in math or grammar impact their grades. So writing, they may have good ideas, but their writing contains spelling, grammar mistakes, and that impacts the grade. In math, as I said, they may know all the steps in a problem, but then they may not really do very well on the exams because that one small error that they had makes the problem wrong. So has trouble sustaining attention in tasks or play activities. So at home, this is frequently jumps from one hobby or interest to another without finishing. So they may start multiple projects, but complete none of them. They may have a lot going on. At school, they drift between activities during free time. They may not cause disruption, but they struggle to stay engaged or find a consistent interest. So does not seem to listen when spoken to directly. So at home, maybe responds yes without really hearing instructions. These are the kids that need your full attention and eye contact to process what's been said. So, you may say something to them, they're like, yeah, mom, yeah, mom, yeah, mom. Or dad, if they're not paying attention to you, then later on they don't follow through, and it's because they were not listening. At school, they may be seen as defiant for not following directions, when in fact they simply didn't register the instructions. They might complete assignments incorrectly due to missteps as well, or do it completely wrong because they weren't paying attention or listening. The next one is does not follow through on instructions and fails to finish chores or schoolwork. So you ask them to go upstairs and get their pajamas on, but they end up getting distracted by toys and they're up there for 20 minutes doing something different. And then they return down not dressed in their pajamas. At school, they have incomplete assignments, difficulty starting tasks, missing work, even though they understand the content. So these are some of the messages that you may be getting from school. Okay, has trouble organizing tasks and activities. So at home, they're easily overwhelmed by multi-step tasks. They may not know how to begin or how to prioritize. What do you do first? What do you do second? What's most important to get done? They struggle with that. They may struggle with this during homework as well. At school, time management and planning are a struggle. They may look like they're procrastinating or avoiding, but really they're having a hard time organizing their thoughts, and they're having a hard time to prioritize the steps or the things that they need to complete. This also impacts with writing at school, because if you have a hard time organizing tasks and activities, you're also going to have a hard time organizing like an essay and organizing your thoughts. So it also presents in writing at school, in longer writing assignments. Avoids or dislikes tasks that require sustained mental effort. So homework becomes a daily battle. So if you're having a daily battle with your child every night to get homework done, this may be a trait of ADHD. The child may deny having assignments or stall getting started, really struggling with homework. So anything that requires sustained mental effort. At school, they may avoid challenging work, especially long-term projects or tasks perceived as hard. So might act out when feeling overwhelmed. So you may see that there's certain times that they're getting in trouble at school. It may be like right when independent work is starting, or if they're in a class where they have to do a lot of writing or a big project and they're getting overwhelmed with the whole bigness of it. Then often loses items necessary for tasks and activities. So at home, they're frequently misplacing toys, books, or school supplies, backpacks in bedroom, maybe very disorganized. These are the kids that in the morning, you're like, okay, go find your backpack. They can't. Go get your coat. They struggle to find where it is, things like that. At school, desks or lockers are messy. They may lose completed work or constantly need replacement pencils and materials. Every task they go to, they're asking for a pencil. Sometimes I can walk into a class and see there's certain ones that the desks are always a mess every single day. And those are the kids like, they're struggling with organization, definitely. It's easily distracted by extraneous stimuli. So at home, this is every sound, movement, or visual can pull their attention away from tasks, which can lead to frustration. If they're trying to do homework and they hear a sound outside and that, pulls their attention to outside, that can be frustrating. If they're listening to something, if they're listening to a story even, and their attention keeps getting taken away. They're getting distracted. At school, they may stare out the windows, turn to noises, or lose focus easily, especially in quiet work time. So this is the one where if there's a kid next to them tapping their desk, that's going to distract them. This often really impacts or can impact assessments, because if they're in the regular ed classroom taking an assessment and there's a lot of noise, somebody's coughing, somebody's doing something else, that's going to take their attention off the test and they're going to get frustrated. This also it's one of those, we talked about how inattentive is it's not as visible. The kids could be looking forward at the board, but also not really paying attention. So it's harder sometimes to gauge. Next one is forgetful in daily activities. So at home, they need reminders for basic routines like, did you brush your teeth? Did you hang up your coat? At school, they struggle with routines even after months. So may ask repeat questions like, where do I turn this in? Or what page are we on? These are the kids that at the beginning of the school year, in each classroom, there will be specific procedures that the kids will learn. And it may take them a couple months to get into kind of the habit and swing of things. It just takes them a little longer. And that's important for teachers to know. So inattentive ADHD in general can fly under the radar because it often lacks the outward signs of hyperactivity. So the children may seem quiet or compliant, but internally they're dealing with constant mental distraction and struggle to maintain focus and follow through. So recognizing these signs is key to providing the right supports at home and in the classroom. So there are also supports at home that are important.